In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Radical?
Gone are the days of pods and cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, and welcome to the show, everyone. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and it's called Best Gen because we all are roughly más o menos from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, and not because, we as people are better, but because our movies and entertainment certainly was. So strap on in.
Well, we as people, we're also better. Let's be real.
Yeah. I'm done being modest. We're better than you, okay? Thanks for just pushing me off that fence, Leon.
Happy to do it, buddy.
Strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgic as we reminisce upon the days of yore and complain about the dumb, stupid movies that Hollywood is making right now. Man, we're joined by Leon from Words of Paradise is the YouTube channel, but all of your handles are Bolt the Word. So you need to explain that to me first.
So in the channel name is Words of Paradise. It's a play on the Magic the Gathering card Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
In Magic, you never want a Birds of Paradise to hit the ground, so when you kill it, it's called bolting the bird. So I want to bolt the word. I'm Words of Paradise, bolt the word, bolt the bird. I'm a bit of a Magic the Gathering player.
I never had enough money to own my own Magic cards, so I played it a bunch. And I with my friends who had like 13 different decks, and they just hand me one, and I would lose every time.
Oh, that's such a douchey way to have it.
No, but I loved it. It was fun. Actually, I think I did win once.
Oh, good.
But
yeah, you're assuming that him losing had anything to do with his abilities. With his friends trying to sabotage him. I'm sure they gave him the best deck they could, and they're like,
no, yeah, there was just one time I had a deck with some birds in it, and they never touched the ground. I guess I won the game. So
no,
that's actually not that far off from my experience.
I've had you on my show, and I'm glad I'm here. As I'm super excited. I am coming with this annoying pimple on my forehead, so I guess for Black History Month time, I'm cosplaying as an Indian for you guys. So I'll be your diversity hire for the day.
Great. Well, I'm diverse too, technically. 1/4 Mexican, with on technicality with 0 blood. So we're all diverse. The Angry Mex said he showed up to say I'll be on later. He's probably playing League of Legends again.
I've streamed with him 3 times, and every time he's been late. I won't lie. I love it.
Oh, we love him. I've been on your show, Countercast, right? That's what it's called?
Yep. Yeah, because in Magic the Gathering, you cast counters, but it's a podcast, so it's the Countercast. There's layers to it.
I like that one.
It seems it seems like I don't see any layers. It seems like it's just one layer, and it's always magic. It's the same layer every time. That doesn't count as multiple layers.
Yeah, sure it does. Multiple layers of magic, like multiple layers of like cake. You have a layered cake. It's all cake, but
we got some wonderful people in the chat already. My mom, who loved the Argylle movie. My dad texted me saying, "Oh, you got to go see it," and I did.
I knew you'd hate it.
And we're going to talk about it. Oh, boy. I saw Leon posting about it on Twitter. I'm like, okay, well, I need more than just Jared here who's seen the show. Because I know David. I tried to get David to come watch it with us last night, and he refused.
One, I've been on call, so I can't. And two, I don't want to.
I did want to. I've been looking forward to this movie for months. I was so excited for it. Yeah. Oh, that's what makes it worse.
My wife is a big Henry Cavill fan.
Your wife is correct.
And
another reason to not like this movie, man.
Well, that was the thing. She saw the commercials for this movie, and she's like, I don't know what it is, but they managed to make Henry Cavill not attractive in the trailers. Okay. I'm like, okay, I don't get it, but
oh man, I have so much to say. We'll get into it in a second. We got Justin Hancock and Mark Clark, our wonderful channel member. If you're in the chat, thanks. I see some new faces. I can't. It's moving kind of fast, so thanks for tuning in. Leon might have to cover his camera every once in a while because he's technically on call working too. He's not being rude. He's just multitasking. Hope Jared comes back. We're joined by David from Shelf Up Gaming and Jared. Other Jared said he'd be coming on later as well. Anyway, we're going to talk about Argylle, and there's a little bit of nerd news, and that's basically it. It's a slow week, but next Sunday, is our 100th episode. Shoot, I wasn't ready. I was ready, and then there we go.
Nice. I can't believe it. That's
it's our 100th episode. Our 100th oh my gosh, our 100th episode of Best Gen, and I couldn't be more excited to announce that we will be talking about Madam Web.
We can.
Hopefully, we can get Albelio to come on too, because he committed to it.
Madam Web is one I will not see, because I'm probably one of 12 people in the world that's actually a fan of that character. So I'm not going to go watch the bastardization of her.
But why do all the costumes look like BDSM?
Like Spider Woman is actually that's accurate to her costume from the 90s. I like the way the Spider Woman looks, but guess what? It's not a Spider Woman movie. It's a Madam Web movie, and Madam Web doesn't look a thing like Madam Web, or a thing like Stanley's wife, or sound a thing like Madam Web or Stanley's wife. I'm so upset. I love that character.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I love the Spider-Man franchise as well, and I don't know. I'm gonna go see this one because I don't know. I guess I like torturing myself.
You just know it's gonna be bad. So Argylle. Let's talk Argylle. The trailers didn't look awful. It looked like it could be kind of good, and like Matthew Vaughn has a pretty good track record of decent movies.
Does he though?
Well, okay, it's kind of weird. With Matthew Vaughn, I think I either really love it or I hate it. But there's only been like two that I hated, right? So like Kingsman, the first movie is phenomenal, and then the second movie is horrible. Like, I
agree.
There was nothing redeemable. No. There was one good scene in the movie, and even in context, it doesn't make sense. But there was one good acting scene, and I don't understand how that movie got made. And then he comes out with the prequel, the Kingsman, and I actually really liked that one, and I thought I was going to hate it.
See, I haven't seen the Kingsman yet, but
it's good. I cried during it.
I think X-Men First Class is one of the worst X-Men movies, and I don't like Kick-Ass either.
That's the thing. I hate First Class, and I love Days of Future Past.
Exactly.
Days of Future Past is
it's weird. So he knows how to make a good movie, and he also what?
I don't think he did Days of Future Past.
He did both, right? Okay, maybe he did.
No, I'm pretty sure you're correct on that. He did both of them.
If he did, there's the second Matthew Vaughn movie I like.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I didn't like Kick-Ass. It was overrated for sure.
Oh.
I haven't seen Snatch, but people like that.
Well, Snatch is amazing, but he didn't direct that. He
You know what?
That's Guy Ritchie.
It shows
he
up.
worked on it.
Why is his name on it then?
He worked on it. He just didn't direct it. Guy Ritchie directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Days of Future Past was directed by Brian Singer.
See, I thought it was Brian Singer, but I didn't want to say that and be wrong.
Yeah,
okay.
it shows up when you Google it. So as one of his...
he's just produced a bunch, so you got to go to director. He's doing another King. He's doing two. He's currently working on 2 more Kingsmans. He's doing a Kingsman and a The Kingsman. So he's doing a sequel and a prequel sequel. That's gosh. Okay, Layer Cake.
Okay.
Stardust is phenomenal though.
I saw it when it came out. I was in high school or just out of high school, so I didn't like it. But I need to rewatch it as an adult and because my opinions have changed so rapidly as I've grown up and understood what good movies are. So Stardust might actually be good. I'm not going to judge that one.
I just rewatched it last month. It popped on Netflix or HBO or whatever. I have a different service every month because I cycle them, and I loved it. It's I'd seen it when I was younger, and I rewatched it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, people like Layer Cake, and I haven't seen that one yet either. You're right.
So Matthew Vaughn did some of the story for Days of Future Past.
Okay.
He did not direct it, but he wasn't the solo for the story either. There are 3 contributors to the story.
So I guess Argylle is on par with Matthew Vaughn movies then?
I think that's what we just discovered.
He does a good one, and then a bad one, and then a good one, and then a bad... Yeah. It's been a good one.
It's like Windows releases. Every other Windows release.
Oh, Jared lost power. That's why his computer dropped. He's going to try and join with his phone, but he can't make any promises. Oh, anyway. Well, he knew I was going to hate it, which sounded like he might have liked it a bit, so we were going to disagree. What is wrong with this movie, man?
It does have redeeming qualities. I will happily talk about the positives. There aren't many, but the ones that are there, I will talk about.
I liked the first 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say I go so far as to say the first. I like the first, definitely the first 20 to 30. It starts to fall off. It does not get legitimately bad until the big twist. So, and then which
one? Because they were 30.
Yeah, right.
And they were all the same twist just over and over again. And it was never surprising. This movie had more twists than all of M. Night Shyamalan's movies put together, and none of them were surprising.
The movie was a slinky if you straightened it out.
What killed me is every time they did a big reveal, it was super oh my gosh, Jared. That's gotta be your phone.
It is.
I'm just gonna mute you real quick.
Yeah.
There we go.
Did you hear me all right?
You were getting feedback. Yeah, it's a feedback.
Oh, sorry about that.
Put in headphones.
That's weird, 'cause you're in my headphones right now, so. Is it still coming through?
Oh, no, it's every time you talk is just horrible.
Weird. Okay, well,
He won't say anything. What was I saying? Oh,
Matthew Vaughn is behind us. I won't let these people talk bad about my movie.
It's much better now. Did you just say something again, Jared?
Yeah.
Don't change anymore because it sounds good now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I can barely hear you though.
Okay. Every time there was a big reveal, the audience, we knew we knew what it was, but it still took the characters on screen 10 more minutes to comprehend or process the reveal, and you're like, no, we got it. Why are we still on this?
The pacing of this movie was even when the movie was good, in the first 30 minutes, the pacing was that very first action scene where you see her, it flipping between Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill. Even that was actually kind of cool. Good, that scene went on by. I've never wanted an action scene to stop, but I'm like, hey, we get it. She's processing it, and she's going through oh, he's Sam Rockwell, now he's Argylle. Sam Rockwell, now he's Argylle. Move on. The train sequence, while cool, lasted entirely too long, and that is every scene in this movie. You could shave a solid 30 minutes off this movie.
You could shave 45.
Yeah, it still wouldn't be good, but it would be better. It'd go from like a 4 to a 5.
Yeah, the pacing was wild. The first 30 minutes are pretty good paced. There's 2 fight scenes that are okay, and then from there, it's like an hour and a half of expositional dialogue with nothing happening. And then there's a finale, which is just more exposition and kind of a fight scene at the end. And then a wild ice skating scene.
Skating.
That was so ridiculous.
We'll get to that. We can't.
So can I say just a couple quick things? Just because I know I'm going to have to get out of here real quick. My phone's got low battery, and with the power dead, it's not going to last long anyway. So I don't know how much you guys have said beyond the fact that they're saying reveal after reveal, like twist after twist after twist, and was just way too busy trying to get lots of extra twists in there. The other thing that I thought was really interesting with this movie is it started out and it was like, okay, this is going to be a goofy kind of like not serious spy thriller thing, right?
Yeah.
And then in the middle, it almost turned into
it took itself way too seriously.
That's the thing, is it started taking itself seriously enough that you're like, okay, it's still a little lighthearted, but okay, it's not. And then they went with all those twists that they were doing, bang, bang, one right after the other. It started getting more and more and more ridiculous, which was fun in its own right, but it was a really weird juxtaposition with the crazy, with the almost legit spy thriller that they had going on for a little bit in the middle there, which made it so much weirder when they had the weird dancing gunfight scene, and then the dancing ice, ice skating scene,
crude oil skating scene.
I want to complain and be like, that's not realistic, but it's an over-the-top action movie. So it's not supposed to be. It's trying to
here's
be
the problem.
More than that. It's trying to be a goofy, silly one.
Right.
But they just spent so much time in the middle where it almost turned legit.
Yeah. So the big problem is there was 2 big problems, and we've talked about this relentlessly on this show. This movie was written backwards.
Yeah.
They knew, we're going to put on all these twists, and they wrote towards the twists, and none of it makes any sense. Like, retroactively, if you actually go back and analyze the plot of this movie, it is nonsense. Okay? So it's bad writing. But to the other point, the taking itself too seriously that you brought up, the reason why it doesn't work is the opening scene with the Henry Cavill and John Cena is cheesy on purpose, and it's very entertaining. It's funny because we know that it's fake. It's her writing her novel, and we're seeing this cheesy portrayal of her really bad, cheesy spy novel, and that's funny, because it's the fantasy world. And then we enter the real world where things are supposed to be serious. And I thought that the cinematography would also become serious to parallel that. And it never did. It stayed the same amount of cheesy and horrible, over the top, not taking itself seriously the entire movie. So there is no juxtaposition. So it doesn't realize it's not in on its own joke.
And, honestly, the only place that really started bugging me was when they get back to the over-the-top ridiculousness once they're, raiding the base and doing that huge gunfight or whatever. But you're right. It was goofy at the beginning because it was in the novel, and then when they're out of the novel, even though maybe the cinematography didn't adjust, there was a lot of it that felt much more grounded because it was actually the real world.
The first fight scene was a little bit more grounded, but then it gets ridiculous.
But then the gunfight scene with them and the smoke and the colors and everything else, that's the thing. That by itself could be a really fun fight.
I won't lie, I'm not getting more of what you're saying.
By the way, sorry, William Richards is asking if he's just not funny tonight. I did want to come and
keep cutting out, man.
We actually, am I cutting out?
Yeah.
Yeah, your volume after the way low, and then it comes back and it goes low again.
Let me try this. Let's see if that's a little bit.
Nope.
That's more creepy because I got my computer as my main light. Anyway, wanted to say we actually watched Stardust last night. So Martina talking about Stardust because it's also
great.
Been, great movie.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on my camera angle because I don't want to be looking like Epstein going on there. But yes, you are funny tonight, William Richards. We're just so like shaking our heads over this movie.
The thing that I could not get over when it first happened. So I loved the opening scene. The opening scene is an absolute blast, and
it's fun.
You know from
it's
the
dumb
jump
fun.
That John Cena and Henry Cavill are intentionally being hammy. Like you're like, oh, I bet they're having fun with this. They get to overact, and it's great. And then you get to when Bryan Cranston's introduced. And he is doing the exact same hammy acting as John Cena and Henry Cavill, but in the real world, I at no point found any villain in this whole film threatening because they all felt like they were extras from like Thundercats.
Yep. Yeah, that's the problem. It's tonally just. It's tonally everywhere. It doesn't know when it's supposed to be serious and when it's supposed to be funny. And like it could, the idea, it's not a bad idea.
Bad. He could have did. I mean, like, oh, we've got a compelling villain here for like a secret spy espionage style organization, and it could have given the movie some balance. But a flamingo, this is not.
Yeah. One other thing, William Richards actually brings up the first Kingsman movie. And I don't know if you guys stuck around for the post-credit, but there was a post-credit where I think this is supposed to tie into the Kingsman universe in the end. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. I actually haven't seen any of the Kingsman movies. I've heard.
I think it was more of an Easter egg than this is in the same universe.
Maybe. I suppose it could go either way because honestly, if this isn't successful enough, which it probably won't be, but like they probably just won't bother with continuing with it. But if it had been, I'd be willing to bet they were going to double down and try to make this a continuation.
Yeah, you say it probably won't be. Have you seen what the opening weekend box office is?
It's not good.
No, but I don't imagine it's good because the critic reviews coming out of the preview stuff was pretty awful.
$18 million on a $200 million budget. This movie ain't getting a sequel.
I can't believe that this movie cost $200 million.
I'm one of the idiots that paid for it. Well, I used a gift card, but still.
The trailers do absolutely lie about what this movie is about, which is shocking because I saw everyone on Twitter before I went in. People started complaining about it, and I was or X, and the biggest complaint was, "Oh, this movie's a huge bait and switch." And I was like, "But we know that from the trailer that it's supposed to be a bait and switch." And I was wrong. This movie is absolutely a bait and switch.
Well, I don't know what I would call it a bait and switch. I mean, it does exactly what the trailer says it's going to do. It just does it really bad. The trailer makes it think it's going to do it well.
That's where I'm coming from too. Is it's
a fail.
It does do what the trailer does because the trailer tells you it's going to be a goofy, kind of silly movie sort of thing. But
right,
and it's goofy and silly. But again, it loses its tone in there.
Yeah, sorry, I dead named X. You can chastise me. No, what I meant by yes, we know that Henry Cavill is not a real person. From the trailer, like he's the fictionalized version of the spy. The bait and switch is that the main character the girl is the spy the whole time, and it makes no sense.
I don't know. I wouldn't call that a bait and switch per se because like the trailer leads you to believe it's going to use what's happening in the book and use that as like you said, the juxtaposition of what's happening in real life. Like for that, you don't want to give the twist away in the trailer. So like her being the spy the whole time. Yeah. That could have worked if they had cast somebody that wasn't a frumpy middle-aged woman.
If they cast someone who looks like they could do any physical activity. Right. Look, I'm fat. Okay, I would be wrong for the role. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not hypocritical of me to call it out.
I also think Sam Rockwell is wrong. Like he's a good actor, and frankly, the good parts of the movie.
They're all him. They're all him.
I'm not.
They did kind of play around with that.
I'm not taking the love child of Dana Carvey and Tom Cruise seriously in this movie. Like,
yeah.
That's one thing is they did kind of address that in the fact that like they said when he first was introduced, like super spies aren't all these hunky, good-looking people like you have in your books or whatever. Which I believed for him. I felt like he did a great job with it. I don't know if I believed I bought her doing it as much. It didn't bother me too
especially
much.
When
it didn't take me totally out of it, but it was
especially when she kicked his butt like 13 times.
Yeah,
and he was struggling to.
near the end when she's saved, like, because throughout the whole movie he is incredibly competent until it reveals that she's the spy, and then all of a sudden he turns into a blithering idiot. Like, if they'd let him maintain his competence as a spy and as a super soldier, then I'd been like, all right, that's cool as whatever. But the moment they put the focus on her being this trained badass, all of a sudden now Sam Rockwell's got to be saved at every turn.
And that's where I think that backwards writing came in is the problem, because again the idea could be fine. It wasn't necessarily executed great. But
in the movie they say he's the one that trained, so she should not be able to get one over on him. He is the master. Like
but now she is the master.
So I don't know. It's I still had some fun with it, but it was definitely not a great movie, and I don't expect it to do great long run either. That's the other thing too. The one thing I will say too, a lot of people were complaining about the bait and switch of like Henry Cavill barely being in the movie.
No,
I felt like he was.
That's fine.
Like when I started hearing, oh, he's barely in the movie, and then when I watched it, I was like, he is there throughout it, even though he's not there for long or for very long periods of time in it. He's there throughout it, so I actually did not mind how little he was in the movie, even though I'd love to see more of him. Sorry, I missed that last part.
I said they used him effectively for what his character's supposed to be.
I completely agree. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here.
Okay.
I don't want my phone to get too much lower, but thanks for letting me hop on, and sorry for the cutout there and for the weird audio issues, giving people strokes.
Sorry, we're having technical difficulties today. I've been
see you, Jared.
Fixing my computer.
It's fitting that we're having technical difficulties for this movie. This whole movie is one giant technical difficulty.
It is. It really is.
CGI also look like ass.
Yeah. Okay. So the only parts of the movie that I liked was all Sam Rockwell. Like I love him and he's always entertaining, but even by the end of the movie, it became grating just because he was simping all over this other character who wasn't. There wasn't a single point in the movie where she was likable. And she went through a whole bunch of switches, like, oh, we don't know who this person is, and personality switches, and none of them were likable. And so by the end, even Sam Rockwell's performance was grating because he's just simping all over this character who's just not fun.
She could have redeemed herself if she'd gone back for her damn
easily.
Cat. Like a halfway point when Sam Rockwell's all like, you can go back there and save your cat and die, or you can come with me now. When she abandoned Alfie, I was like, all right, well, there's no redeeming her now, which I know is a dumb thing to care about the CGI cat, but I'm like, throughout this whole movie, they've led us to believe that that's the one thing that grounds her. That's her one area of bravery and self-confidence and love is at least for this cat. And it's not like she's been revealed to be the bad super spy yet. So like, not bad as in evil, but bad as in like badass. So like,
right, she was still the
her to be in character and be like, you know what, I'll at least go back for my cat. And she couldn't even do that right.
So, okay, let's talk about how bad the movie looks. Did you notice the entire movie looks like a music video?
I mean, I think that's unfair to music videos. I've seen some very good music videos.
Okay, but it feels like a cheap, like, YouTube music video. The cinematography is, even in the fight scene, the train fight scene, which had some amazing choreography, was absolutely ruined by the cinematography, which is cutting every split second.
In the first scene, that is fine because of what they're trying to do. They're cutting it to show the Henry Cavill back to Sam Rockwell.
But it physically made me sick because they did it way too much. Yeah, there were multiple points in this movie where I literally felt nauseous because of how badly it was edited. And then even outside of the action scenes, everything is a close-up that's way too close with like this ridiculous depth of field. The effects just look like garbage. I can't imagine that this movie cost $200 million to make. That makes no sense to me because it looks like a student film.
About 190 million of it or so did go to the hair gel used for Henry Cavill. So
right.
Now it makes sense.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, the I don't know if anyone else. I mean, I say I don't know if anyone else caught this. I don't know how you could miss it. Of the 4 action scenes, 3 of them are the same action scene.
Yes.
Here's a bunch of quick cuts using a generic top 40 pop song.
Yeah, that was it.
Why would you do the same action scene 3 times in a movie that's only got 4 action scenes? And I don't know. Does the final action scene use a use a pop song? It might be all four, honestly.
It does.
Use a pop song. If the ice skating part uses a pop song, then all 4 action scenes use a generic top 40 pop song.
Yeah, it is. But like the
all y'all owe Zack Snyder an apology. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, there was so much slow-mo in this movie. It felt like a Zack Snyder movie. At weird spots where you're like, why is this in slow motion right now? It wasn't in the fight scenes for most of them.
I really was. I mean, I have been looking forward to this movie for months. I've been an advocate for this movie. I've been telling how great it is, how like it was one of my top most anticipated movies of 2024. And now I'm like, well, at least Dune 2 is going to be awesome. And I swear,
Dune
if I end up
2.
being wrong about Dune 2, I'm just
I know.
I hope we're not wrong.
They just made Denis Villeneuve just gave an interview where you're like, okay, if this is a language barrier, then it's no problem. But if he means what he says, like, I'm worried now.
Uh-oh.
I saw the interview you're talking about, and then I saw the dude who was.
It's
the founder
probably
of
fine.
Cover it. And I think the dude from Bounding was just. I think he was looking to make culture war issues out of nothing. I don't see how you can make the first half of Dune so perfect and then screw up the second half because, I mean, it followed the book very, very well. And Dune is my favorite series of all time when it comes to books. So I think we're gonna be fine with Dune 2. But man, Argylle was not a good start to 2024.
It might have a Channy problem, and but I hope it not. I've literally been looking forward to Dune Part 2 for so long. It's a running joke on my channel. I made a sketch where I was an old man who was whose will to stay alive was so that he could watch Dune Part 2. You know, like
that's awesome.
It was the only like negative repercussion of the Hollywood strike. The friendly fire.
See, here's I don't think we're gonna go into some baseless fan conspiracy theory time. I don't think the writer's strike had a damn thing to do with Dune 2. What I think it was. So, do y'all remember the Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino film?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, do you guys know what the Chinese theater is in California? Like the super famous theater where Quentin Tarantino had a deal with them to show the Hateful Eight for 2 weeks straight. After the first week, a certain movie came out, a certain Disney movie. It was real famous. It was called The Force Awakens. And Disney forced the Chinese theater into breaking their contract to show Star Wars The Force Awakens for a week. And they bent Quentin Tarantino over. He threw a fit about it the whole night. It was a big deal. I'm thinking that Disney strong-armed the studio behind Dune 2 the exact same way they did Tarantino back in the day. That way Captain Marvel 2 had no competition. That is they can claim it's the writer's strike,
Captain
but
Marvel.
all the info we'd had leading up to that point was that Dune 2 was done. Like, that's why
it was done for a long time. There's no. The only reason it was delayed is because they couldn't promote it.
No, see that they claimed it was so they could finish the visual effects. That's why I think they're lying because they yeah.
I never heard that claim. Because it was done.
They claimed it was so they could do touch ups and finishes on visual effects, and they didn't have, and because of the strike, they weren't allowed to at the time. And so that I think that Disney absolutely said, slipped some money to the right people, said, hey, push Dune 2 back so the Captain Marvel 2 has no competition. Again, it's just a theory, but
Mark Shark, the joke doesn't work because you actually did read God Emperor first. But yeah, I would love.
I don't think they'll ever make that one into a
dude.
movie,
I can't.
we're gonna stop it at the
I would pay
Dune
so much money to see God Emperor of Dune on screen.
If we make a God Emperor Dune movie, I don't even like.
It's so good though. It would make a good movie. It would be a good movie.
There would be so many just moments or like. It's such a weird book. It makes anime look normal. Like it's such a weird book.
Nerdporio, thank you so much for the $2. Oh my, Leon's here. Swoon, Tech-Mex, you're big boned. Yes, I'm not fat.
Love to see you, Nerdporio. How you doing,
I
brother?
do have big bones. Even when I wasn't fat, I was still wide. Okay, I'm a big boy. Argylle, man.
So what did you like about the movie out of curiosity? What were some of the positives?
I liked Sam Rockwell. And the first fight scene, the first half of the first fight scene was clever, and then it went on for way too long, and I got sick. The cutting between him and Henry Cavill was funny. It was good, and the choreography, if they would have just shown it, was very good, and they kept ruining it by cutting so much. And it wasn't just the cuts between characters, because every time they cut between Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill, it was the same camera angle. The problem was when they would switch to different stuff. That was pretty much the only thing that I liked. Did you notice?
I like the editing in the beginning when like she's doing the same, trying to rewrite the scene in the book, and so it's Henry
Yeah, it was
Cavill
fine. It was
over
fine.
and over, and it melts away into like the text of the book she's writing. I thought the editing in the movie was really clever, and then they just forget that they did good editing for the whole rest of the film in lieu of generic editing. Like you had some cool ideas, and also it forgets it's a spy movie after like the first half hour, and it becomes like a buddy cop movie. They don't do any spying espionage things. It goes from like James Bond to Rush Hour in tone. So
Okay.
Oh, and there was a point right before the second fight scene where it was kind of fun to see her using her author's intuition to solve the mysteries. That was a clever concept, which retroactively wasn't a thing.
yeah,
It kind of ruins the only thing that was good with your movie. I keep forgetting all the points because there's so many things to address. But the
Bryce Dallas Howard got fat.
what? Oh
Bryce
yeah.
Dallas Howard got fat. She used to be such a babe.
Well, they had to completely rewrite Jurassic World 3 because she refused to get back in shape.
Yep.
Oh, I heard about that. I totally forgotten about that.
In every scene, she's like carrying something, and in like a poncho.
Yeah.
They were very mad at her. No problem. I'll be on your show next week talking about Wheel of Time, baby. Oh man, there's so many just dumb things to talk about. It had so many plot twists, and they were all.
Oh, I remember why I brought up that she was ugly in this, why she got fat in this. At two different points in the movie, within 15 minutes of each other, maybe even 10 minutes of each other, she gets hit on by dudes. And I'm sitting here like, why are these conventionally attractive men hitting on this frumpy middle-aged author? Like, that was so weird.
Yeah, and then it got worse at the end when she put on the sexy dress, and it wasn't
Oh my god,
sexy.
that dress was so unflattering. Like, I get what they were going for. It just didn't work. Like
What?
you can, it's very, very hard, but you can make big women be attractive.
Yeah.
That dress was not how you do it.
What even was the setup for that scene? The secret keeper. Like, none of that made sense.
Yeah,
None of the movie made sense.
The secret keeper seductively says, "Did you forget about us?" And I'm like, "Wait, did they make? Is she gonna be a lesbian now as well? Because I thought she was in love with
The
Sam
plot
Rockwell.
twist was she was gay. There were so many plot twists. I literally leaned over. I watched it with my younger brother, and I leaned over and spoiled half of the movie for him. I was like, "They're gonna do this. They're gonna do this. Oh, the crazy fan who wrote in is the old partner."
That was so okay. So
That was predictable from like 2 hours before they showed it.
Not only was it predictable, but also they didn't even announce.
She was there the whole time and wasn't helping.
Right.
She was on the boat the whole time.
Apparently, for 5 years, this chick's been alive, and Samuel L. Jackson didn't know it. Sam Rockwell didn't know it. Like you said, she hasn't been helping. They also don't even mention that she was a real person and not just a character in the book until like an hour into the movie. So
what was the bad guy's plan? Can you explain to me what the bad guy's plan was? If she was already on his side, why did he need to create a fake personality for her?
I can't answer that, but I can answer the good guys in this movie aren't really the good guys. So how does the movie?
Yeah,
end?
Sam Rockwell just waits 5 years to save her. He just watches her for 5 years.
What is the last thing that the heroes do in this movie?
They write a book.
No, okay, so I guess the second last heroic thing they do.
They upload a file of dead people.
After that,
Samuel Jackson goes, yeah.
and after that,
They ride off on a boat.
Okay, you're on the right track. And what happens to the other boat?
They blow up. Oh, they do an oil spill. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize. They were on a crude oil ship.
Wow.
Crude oil, and they just blow it up in the middle of the ocean.
And everyone was dead. They released a list of government bad people, but they'd killed everyone on the list.
Wow.
And then
They say
why was it on a boat? Why was there's so many questions, man. The government spy base was on a crude oil ship.
And also, and this is something else I took exception with, and I haven't heard any other reviewer bring this up, but so in the movie, they say that this list has all the information about political assassinations, rigged elections, international terrorism. So what do they do at the end of the movie? They upload that to a satellite. It basically goes public. At the end of the movie, it's just her finishing her book. How do you think the world would react to finding out that there's been a secret, non-sanctioned, non-government organization that's been rigging elections, murdering political figures?
And it's all the same plot as her book too. So like, there's got to be people questioning, like, wait a second, what is this? Did you notice? This is a minor complaint. I get it, but it really, really bothered me. If you take the movie at face value, she had written 4 books. She was writing the 5th book with plans to finish it off in a 6th book. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then her mom says, no, instead of writing a 6th book, finish the whole series with 1 extra chapter in your... That really bothers me. Like, if you're... That makes no sense. Just logistically. That you could... That the ending to your series could either be 1 chapter or an entire book. Okay, but it gets worse. When she's doing her reading, they have the first 4 books printed out, and on the spines it has the Argylle symbol, the triangle, and it's complete. Mm-hmm. So the complete set is only 4 books. Yep, but she's writing a 5th book. And then at the end of the movie, they reprinted those, and there's 5 books that complete the symbol. I was like, but her original plan was for it to be 6 books. So like, whatever publishing company is working with what was her name, Ellie Fanta?
Ellie Conway.
Ellie Conway, get your shit together. That's not how you publish books.
I mean, to be fair, most people don't read nowadays anyway, so it's not like they're going to catch that. But it was so... I will say, the one twist that I didn't see coming that I did like was that Sam Rockwell was based off of John Cena instead of Argylle. Yeah. I was like, okay, that's clever, because I actually did not make that connection.
Well, that's a good twist that I did see coming, because because his character was missing, and it was 2 of them going on adventures. I'm like, oh, okay, because she's seeing Argylle as her reflection. As soon as she stopped seeing Argylle in Sam Rockwell and saw the reflection, I was like, oh, she's Argylle and he's John Cena. But that's not a bad twist. That was fine. Yeah, that was the one twist that made sense.
So I saw the twist of her being Argylle coming, and I was like, that's so dumb, that can't be it. And then lo and behold, that was it. I was angry in the theater because I felt so insulted.
Okay.
That this movie would do that.
Okay, but I genuinely do not understand. Who is the Henry Cavill character at the end?
I mean, when Henry Cavill.
I think you have some questions for me.
Yeah, that was also weird. I didn't understand that. Like, I imagine that was a joke, and it just.
Yeah,
but
but that's what the teaser at the end is. That's his character, 20 years younger, doing spy stuff. I don't know what they were even going for. It was a young Henry Cavill because his name was the Argylle thing.
It was like
something Argylle.
It was
Benedict
Gabriel or something like that, or it was something. It was a female's name, by the way. The first name was a female's name. I thought, maybe that's just a British thing.
Maybe he's Aubrey
Argylle.
Aubrey Argylle. So probably what my guess is that his real life spy adventures are producing books. So it's the other way around. It's the twist. It's the backwards twist. So her books were made ethereal, brought into the ether a real life spy, and then his real life spy brought in the prequel series. I don't know. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. There's not going to be another after how abysmally this performed. Or at least I hope to God there's not going to be another.
Yeah. It sounds like a mess.
No, dude, because a mess can be cleaned up. There's no fixing this.
But like, there wasn't even the fight scene. The fight scene in the Kingsman, the Westboro Baptist Church fight scene, right, is so perfect and so phenomenally executed. And just put that up against the fight scenes in this movie. It's disgusting. Like, I don't know how they could possibly be made by the same person. The ice skating scene actively pissed me off because the plot was that the twist was she was a figure skater and she realized that wasn't just part of her cover story and she actually did know how to skate, and so the floor, they've been shooting guns the whole time, and so the floor is covered in crude oil and everyone is slipping around, and the plot twist is, I can use my ice skating skills to do a fight scene while ice skating because I have that real life skill. And so she jams 2 blades into her boots, which would stop her from sliding around. That would only work if it was actually ice.
Yep. But also,
she could have just slid around on her boots.
But she wouldn't have the ability to direct her movement. She would just.
But sticking knives in your boots would not do that either. That would stop you from moving.
You're right. That would give you traction.
Mark Clark, I think $1.99. Thank you so much for the donation. But did they stick a chick in it and make it lame and gay? Yeah.
Sort of?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. She was bi, I guess. She was lame and bi.
Even if we're reading into it too much and that she wasn't actually gay with the Secret Keeper or whatever.
No, that's what it was. What else would that have meant?
Yeah, what I'm saying is secret black hacker chick was definitely a homo. Let's be real, she was. You don't give me that androgynous of a black female in a modern movie and tell me that she wasn't gay.
So the twist that Sam Rockwell is the wrestler John Cena, who was the hacker, right? That when he grabs the laptop and he says, I can do this, I can look up all the websites. That's when it was like, it's cemented in that was going to be the twist for me, because he was doing the hacking stuff. But did you notice once she became the spy, she did all the hacking?
I did. I sure did.
And he did nothing? And it was established that she didn't know how to hack?
Yup. And then near the end, when she's beating on Sam Rockwell and he's refusing to fight back because I love you, or you know, all that dumb reasoning, he's just resigning himself to die. He's like, go on, step on my face, do it. You know, you've earned this. Go ahead, step. You know, kill me, only to be saved by whatever her name was, the partner that was long dead but wasn't actually dead that comes back at the end. Like that was, even if they had set that up, I guess whatever, that would have been fine. But there was no setup for that. Like no matter how much it was, oh, well, there was the email that was clearly from her. It's like, okay, what are the odds? They've not been in communication. That email was months old. How did this chick know they're going to be there at that moment on that boat? Where was she during this hallway fight when she could have been helping? Like, it was such a lame ass pull to have that girl come in at the very end.
Dude, the oil fight scene in the transporter is phenomenal. This is like... I'm not recommending the movie, but I want people to watch the movie so that they understand my pain. Because words cannot describe the ice skating, the oil ice skating scene in this movie. It is so phenomenally bad. And then she ends it by shooting guns, which they said they couldn't do because it would blow up. I don't like.
Also, by the way, that's not scientifically accurate. Crude oil is not flammable. I mean, technically it is, but it's very.
It's not going to be ignited by a spark. Right. You have to like set it on fire. You have to heat it, and it's such a disappointment. I'm going to go watch The Transporter because man, that scene is really good. The best part is when he jumps into when he has to kiss the guy who's dead. He jumps into the water and they're shooting at him, but he's got a dead guy with him, and so he sucks the air out of his lungs so that he can swim. Oh, The Transporter's so freaking good. The whole time we left the theater, and my younger brother was like, I think we should have gone to see the Beekeeper instead. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. Okay. But again, what was the bad guy's plan makes no sense. Why did I guess they got what they wanted from her, so they were going to kill her? But why did they send assassins to kill her on a train? The bad guy is her dad and mom. They could just kill her. They could poison her. And she'd be dead. None of this movie makes any sense. The plot is backwards. It was written backwards.
Well, because what they're wanting her to do is write the book so that they get the answer to where this list is. But I also don't know.
But then they tried to kill her before she got the answer.
No, I agree. That's retarded. It's completely retarded.
I don't know what they wanted. What do they want?
Why do they want the list?
They already have the list. They needed the location to the list.
Right. Sorry. But my point is, like, what goal do they accomplish by getting that? Because right now,
because she stole it from them. So they had the list. She stole it from them, and then for some reason, it gave it to the secret keeper. Mm-hmm. But I don't. No, she didn't do it. The hacker guy gave it to the secret keeper. None of this movie makes any sense.
What I'm trying to ask is, like, I don't know what them getting the list would accomplish. Because
just making sure that no one else can get it, I guess.
And that's all well and good. But by the same token, if they want to make sure no one else gets it, then go ahead and kill her. She's the only one that knows how to get it back. If she's dead, then boom.
Oh, no, you're not realizing they needed to spend 5 years giving her a fake identity, so that I don't know any of the.
So stupid. I don't normally cover when on my channel. I hate being negative about movies and whatnot. In terms of reviews, like I'll talk massive trash when it comes to news articles and covering nerd news. Yeah. But when it comes to reviews, I usually like to just stick to things that I enjoy. But by God, I paid money to go see this and was looking forward to it. I am going to be doing a review on it because I am so viscerally angry. Like while I was sitting there writing my review, I could not it became a chore. Normally, I love writing reviews. Love or hate the media. I love writing reviews. I find it fun. Writing this was an actual chore to the point it made me hate, like, because I like you. I like the first 30 minutes. But while writing this review, I was retroactively thinking about the first 30 minutes. I was like, no,
they ruined. They don't make sense anymore.
I hate this. Yeah, it was so bad.
Oh, bad plot contrivances doesn't sum it up. It's bad plot. It was made with checkboxes. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know if that's accurate because, like, if we were talking, when you say checkboxes, I immediately assume you're talking about, like, you know,
well, no,
that's
not what they're talking about. It's things they thought were cool, right? Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a twist. Did you ever see Salt with
Angelina Jolie movie?
Yeah.
I don't like Angelina Jolie, so no, I didn't.
I don't like the movie. It had the same problem. Like, it was one twist the whole time, and it was she's a good guy. No, she's a bad guy. No, she's a good guy. No, she's a bad guy. And it was just over and over and over again. This felt like that, but I would much rather watch Salt.
Yeah, so now, because of the climate that we're in when it comes to pop culture and whatnot, when I see chat boxes, I immediately assume people are talking about, like, you know, woke quotes and whatnot. This movie wasn't even really all that, like when it comes to modern cultural sensibilities, it really wasn't all that woke. If you guys don't want to use that word, it just sucked.
No, it doesn't push, like, an agenda of wokeness other than just, like, simping all over the main character and calling her a goddess when she's an awful person, and doing it at the expense of the only good character in the movie. So, like,
you know what?
There are.
Samuel L. Jackson didn't need to be in this movie.
Why is he in the movie?
anything like, what could he do that Sam Rockwell couldn't have done?
Nothing.
There was nothing that Samuel L. Jackson did in this movie, the 3 scenes he's in, that could not have been accomplished, because we've already established, like you said, Sam Rockwell is the hacker. So couldn't he upload the files to the satellite or whatever? Why did it have to be Samuel L. Jackson? Why did it have to be him that gave the twist that you've actually been Agent Argylle all along? Like,
yeah.
He knew that. He could have also told her that. What point is there for his character to exist in this movie?
Because
Matthew Vaughn worked with her in Kingsman, and he liked working with her.
Honestly, because I think it's because they felt it was problematic for Sam Rockwell to reveal that he's in love with her. That would come off as creepy if Sam Rockwell if Samuel L. Jackson isn't there to do the reveal first, which I think is stupid.
Yeah, if that is their reasoning, that is beyond retarded. Because for as much as we want to give Disney shit for being woke, at least they had Star-Lord chasing after Zoe Saldana, being like, I love the other version of you. Can't I love you as well? Just the same in the most recent Guardians movie.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Even Disney didn't care about that aspect, and they're like the wokest of woke.
Yeah. There's elements of wokeness in the movie, but it's not a woke movie.
Yeah.
It's just
I wouldn't go that far. It's not like the Chicken Dial of Destiny. You're talking about literally the worst movie ever made.
Well, I mean, there are some comparisons. Like she wrote in, like, she's the writer of the movie, and she wrote in every scene, "A hot guy hits on me." Like, you know, there are some parallels, but not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
I hate Indiana Jones is my favorite trilogy of all time. That movie broke me. Dial of Destiny broke me.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So, bro, your last comment about the tons of the twists and comparing it to Salt, where the twist was the same, you know, oh, she's good, oh, she's bad, oh, she's good. It reminded me, and then the generic plot of Argylle with the writer reminded me of a movie that did that twist very well back in 1989.
Stranger Than Fiction? Oh, no, Her Alibi.
Her Alibi.
Her Alibi is so good.
Movie. It's Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck, baby.
He's got writer's block, and he decides to be an alibi to this person. This
No. Okay.
Really freaking hot chick, right? Who is wanted for murder, and he wants to use her as inspiration. And the whole time, it's like, oh, she does something suspicious. Oh, she's really a murderer. And then he finds out, oh, there's actually a logical explanation for why she acted that way. Oh, I trust her again. And then she does something else. And seriously, the whole movie is like, oh, she's really a murderer. Oh no, she's actually a good person.
I love the setup for that movie is it's this immigrant hot chick who's the only suspect in a violent, brutal murder, and he lies and says that they were dating because she's hot. And becomes he is her alibi because he has writer's block, and her story was interesting, and it's giving him ideas for his book. It's so good.
Mark, real quick, if you're gonna say that your first Indiana Jones movie was Crystal Skull, I won't hold that against you. I'm an apologist for that film, and I've always been an apologist for Crystal Skull.
Mark Luck has a history of reading things out of order. Like he just gets books from the library, and it's usually like the fourth in a series. So, but yeah, I wouldn't put it past him if he watched Crystal Skull first. Crystal Skull isn't great, but I don't hate it. Like it has good stuff in it, and I wish it was better than it was.
Yeah, like all the originals are A's, like on a scale of A, B, C, D. So when you get the Crystal Skull is a C, but when you're a C in a sea of A's, you look like an F. Like I've always maintained Crystal Skull is an average movie. It just sucks that all the others are perfect films.
I genuinely like the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Shia LaBeouf, the father-son.
I do as well.
It's done really, really well, and it's just a shame that
there's great parallels between that.
It's a shame that they have Shia LaBeouf swinging on vines and catching up to Jeeps going full speed.
So many people were upset about the aliens in that movie, and I'm like, that just goes to show you guys didn't read the Indiana Jones books, because Indiana Jones fought mummies. And
the aliens are fine.
Did
not bother me.
The aliens are good. It's the fridge and the swinging on the vines and
that's the thing. The fridge isn't a bad idea because it would save you from the radiation. But the problem is it's bouncing, and he'd be a soup when he came out of that.
Exactly. Anyways,
where does the title Argylle come from? Yeah, no, it's Henry Cavill is wearing an Argylle sweater the whole time, and he looks retarded. They made Henry Cavill look so gross in this movie.
I won't lie, the look kind of grew on me. It didn't bother me much. I saw someone compare him to John Travolta in Broken Arrow, and now I can't unsee it.
It was funny when they made when they gave Sam Rockwell the same haircut.
Yes, I agree.
But the scene didn't physically make sense. They're like, oh, if you don't feel the part, let's dress up like the characters from your book. I was like, but she's the Argylle, and so
right. That was so weird to me. It's like why is he looking like
it didn't make sense?
Like Dua Lipa.
It's because they wanted to do the joke, but it doesn't. See, it's like they have, oh, this will be a good idea, and they don't care that it makes no sense.
Which, by the way, it wasn't a good idea, or at least maybe it was a good idea, but so poorly executed that you can't even I'm so glad this movie is failing. And I usually don't say that about original ideas because, I would much rather a movie like this make money than something like a schlocky MCU film or whatever. But dude, I don't want original ideas if they're just going to be this bad.
Yeah. Well, the prevailing
original is not good enough. It needs to also be good.
The internet fan theory, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous before watching this movie, is that it's written and produced by Taylor Swift. And I thought that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then I watched the movie, and I kind of think they might be right.
Ouch.
Who's the writer? What's his name? Argylle. The writer of the movie. I had it pulled up. Okay. I'm not swearing. Okay. The writer's name is Jason Fox. I've never heard of this guy before.
Never.
But apparently he wrote part of Wonder Woman and It Chapter 2.
Which Wonder Woman?
I don't care. And for video games. The theory is that it's all like a pen name because she wants to start producing. I think it's kind of silly. Anyway, I really hated this movie.
Were any of her pop songs the ones that they sang to in the fight scene? See, if that were the case, I might lend some credence to that theory.
I've yet to hear a Taylor Swift song. I envy you, actually.
Yeah.
Taylor
her
Swift
early stuff was good, and she just got progressively worse and worse.
Look, I've never liked any of her music. I will admit she has a good voice, and when she's on a song that she didn't write, it's okay. Like the Civil War song that they did for the Hunger Games is genuinely a beautiful song, and she does a good performance. She's just really bad at. I can't stand her music. Anyway, let's do some news. Here we go.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say about Argylle?
No, man. I think we've got Argylle pretty much covered. I don't know what more we have to say about this movie that's 2 hours and 20 minutes and should have been an hour 40. Like,
it was so long. It actively pissed me off. But okay, here's some bad takes.
Screen rants. Bad takes.
David, you sent me this bad take.
I sent you a lot of ones. Most of them were.
Some of them were duplicates that I already sent myself.
Yeah.
I read this article earlier. I was going to make a short about it, and then figured I couldn't be bothered, and I made one about Sonic the Hedgehog 3 instead.
Yeah. Yeah, so this article is pretty funny. It's talking about how the new animated Lord of the Rings movie that's coming out from the
War of the Rohirrim.
Whatever. What?
It's called the War of the Rohirrim, and it's an animated movie, and apparently it's a slap in the face to Rings of Power Season 2, which I'm fine with, because Rings of Power Season 2 is a slap in the face to Tolkien. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. I said what was the real slap to Rings of Power Season 2 is Rings of Power Season 1.
Right.
Because it was just awful. But yeah, they're mad because it's treading the same grounds that's in between the books, and it's not going to acknowledge anything from Rings of Power because, of course, why would they?
Please stand up for the poor misunderstood multi-billionaires of Amazon Prime. They need you defending them. Okay, I gotta hide the screen real quick because this is the funniest thing, but I have to make my screen smaller so that you don't get the spoiler. Because it's horribly... Okay. This made me laugh for a good, 10 minutes. So you know about the TV show Masters of the Air?
I don't know.
Is Masters of the Air like the new sort of wannabe Band of Brothers?
Yeah, it's this. So they made Band of Brothers and the same people. It's Tom Hanks.
Oh, is it the same people that did Band of Brothers in the Pacific?
Okay, so it's Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks made Band of Brothers, which is the World War II show in Germany, and then they did the Pacific, which is the World War II show, but in the Pacific.
Those are both great.
And now they're doing Masters of the Air, which is a World War II show, but in the air. It's made by the same people. I've been looking forward to it, but I haven't finished watching the Pacific because it's rough. It's really hard. It's good and really hard to get through because, man, the Pacific was messed up. So I'm taking it slowly. Yeah. Anyway.
So I'm betting that they recommend the previous two shows?
Yes. Are you enjoying Masters of the Air? Well, here are 3 great shows you might also like. Band of Brothers.
Yeah, wow.
The Pacific. Is there a single person on Earth who has heard of Masters of the Air that hasn't heard of Band of Brothers in the Pacific? Nope. Much like Argylle, this news article was written backwards.
Yep.
And the third one is Catch-22.
Okay. So there's a different one.
Yeah. That was hilarious. The joke would have worked better if either of you had seen Band of Brothers.
No, I said Band of Brothers was incredible. I think it and the Pacific.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that Masters of the Air was the same studio and group. I didn't know that it was Spielberg and Hank.
Speaking of music, I know it's not my studio album is getting close, but it's not on me anymore. I'm relying on other people's work, and I can't pressure them because they have real jobs. But it's close. It's very close. I'm hoping by March. So that's when that's probably going to happen. And I'm sorry it's taken so long because it's bothering me too. If it was up to me, if I could do the thing, if I could finish it, I would just stay up for a week straight and get it done. But I can't ask other people to do that. I did not watch the He-Man show.
Yeah,
I know the drama. Yeah.
We did talk about it last week. How he apologized publicly for not having He-Man in the first series, but he promises it's going to be better in the second series. And he said, I believe he said he's going to be in 3 or 3.5 out of 5 episodes of this next season. I was like,
hey, you're going to see, instead of just being in 1 episode, he's going to be in 2.
Yeah, that's
the Pacific wasn't as good as Band of Brothers. Just finished Band of Brothers. Band of Brothers is wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Will there be a popcorn bucket also? I know you're referring to the Dune Part 2, but what is this in reference to? Like a popcorn bucket for Argylle? I hope not.
Actually, to be fair, they could be really clever, make it look like the backpack that she keeps the cat in.
Yeah.
Anyway, David, you also sent me this one. Most of this is Avatar news.
Yeah. So this kind of made me really upset. Now, again, I don't know if this is actually. This was from an interview with some of the stars of the show, and oftentimes when you get interviews from the stars, they talk crap, and that's not really what the show is about. That's not what. But
this week there were also some interviews with the with the creators.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I was trepidatiously excited, optimistic for this Netflix adaptation of Avatar, but this is the first red flag that we've seen. Basically, that they were doing an interview and they talked about how Sokka in the original was sexist, and that's problematic. The problem with that is it's called freaking character development.
Yeah, like he was sexist. He was sexist in 1 episode,
right?
And then he got over it.
And he got his butt handed to him by a girl, and then he learned and he grew.
He goes on to get proven wrong by strong female characters like Lee, like Toph. Like, that's literally, if you don't want your characters to have flaws, then you shouldn't be writing. I covered this, and it's been one of my best performing videos recently because I'm not an Avatar fan. I don't dislike Avatar, but like I said in my video, I didn't see Avatar till I was already an adult. So I did not have nostalgia for it. I didn't watch it growing up. I like it, but I'm a casual fan. And so I wasn't really going to talk too much about this. And then I saw this article and it pissed me off because at what point do you are you're axing character development under the guise of what is or isn't problematic? If Sokka was sexist for no reason, I'd still find them changing that to be ridiculous. But at least there's maybe an argument for making changes or whatever. But he literally grows to be proven wrong and have several strong female partner compatriots on Team Avatar. Sokka is the leader of Team Avatar, and it's because he grows and changes and develops. It is so insane to see this mentality, especially because I loved live action One Piece. As a massive One Piece fan, I loved live action One Piece. And I was hoping that Avatar fans would get for them what I got for One Piece. And if this is
it gave me hope. And then this week has been
promotional materials. They're like, I didn't see any red flags going up to him. Like this looks like it could be good. I mean, I didn't like the casting. We talked about this. I didn't like the casting of
Zuko
and
Azula,
his sister. Yeah.
I've only seen Aang, Katara, and Sokka, but all 3 of them look great.
They look really good, and Zuko looks like he's just horribly miscast.
Yeah,
which is troubling because of how important he is to the series.
Yeah, but as far as the trailers and all the news leading up to the show, I didn't see any red flags till this week. So I was,
and there were several red flags from this week. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So Sokka is sexist, and we're fixing that. But also,
the show fixes it.
But also, we want to make the show appeal to Game of Thrones fans.
Yeah.
But also we want to get rid of the sexism because there was none of that in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, good point there.
Look, I agree with 3/4 of this statement.
Yeah.
And then the last line is, so we also want it to be a Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, this makes sense. Yes, and that is the problem with season 1. Season 1 is more of a kid show, and season 2 and 3 quickly mature, and that's why the most of the people who don't like it it's because of season 1. And you're like, but it gets better. You got to keep watching. So I'm totally fine with them making changes to season 1.
Good story, it grows and it matures and it evolves. I can think like. I like The Hobbit better than Lord of the Rings when it comes to the books, for example. And let's be real, The Hobbit is a whimsical kids book, whereas Lord of the Rings are very mature and more adult-oriented. But the reason they work so well as a set is because you read The Hobbit first, the whimsical kids book. I read it in like 3rd grade, and then you grow and you end up reading Lord of the Rings, and you get to see the darker, more mature mythos, and like they work together as a package. Avatar does the same thing. Dragon Ball did the same thing. Harry Potter did the same thing. Most good stories do that.
Yeah. But aside from that though, like there are a bunch of side quests in season 1 that you can get rid of.
Sure.
It's fine.
Yeah, and that's expected in any adaptation, right? But going out and saying specifically you're going to gut character development for the sake of not being problematic, that's
Azula's also going to play a big role.
The actual quote when I read the article, the Katara, I believe it was the girl that played Katara, or maybe it was the guy that played Sokka. One of them said, "We don't want Sokka to come off as unlikable," and I'm like, why? First of all,
he's the most likable character.
About him, but besides that one thing, he's got a lot of other likable qualities about him. Okay. But even so, Luke Skywalker was kind of unlikable in the beginning, in New Hope, in my opinion, because he's whiny as shit. He's a whiny little character, and then he grows and he becomes more likable as he matures.
The problem with a comment like that is it's the ostrich it is the ostrich syndrome. Like, you have to have your head buried in the sand to believe a statement like that, because Sokka is basically the fan favorite character in the anime.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not anime, but second of all, Toph.
Okay. But that's debatable. A lot of people dislike Toph, okay?
Well, those people are wrong. Toph is the best.
I like her. I like all the characters.
Great, but Sokka was the best.
If you polled Avatar The Last Airbender fans, the majority would say Sokka's the most likable character.
You're probably right, yeah.
Okay? The point is, you liked Sokka in the animation. What's the American word for anime? In the cartoon. Sorry. You liked Sokka in the cartoon where he was a little bit sexist. So that statement makes no sense. We want people to like his character, so we're changing him from the character that people liked.
Right. Like, that's so asinine.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the... I don't know if I can... It'll probably get me demonetized, but you can read it. I hope that the Prophet of the Dragon is busy, but I hope he comes on when Avatar comes out, which is the end of February. And they're releasing all of the episodes at once, which is stupid.
Yeah, I hate it when
they do that. Doesn't Netflix normally do that?
No, but they've started doing weekly releases. Literally, the Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah, I'm watching that one weekly. I've been watching Delicious in Dungeon weekly. I thought it was weird that they were doing that one weekly. They did the most recent Stranger Things weekly, and I don't like binging, so I'm fine with it. I just think it's a weird pivot for Netflix to make, considering they always drop everything at once. But I prefer weekly watching. But
they're doing it for those shows and not for Avatar. If there was a show that you needed to release weekly to build an audience, it was this one. Azula is going to play a bigger role. We already knew that. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. This one could go either way. Because I get if they're taking stuff out of season 1.
Is that scroll down? Is that Zuko?
Yeah, that's Zuko right there.
He looks young, but he doesn't look bad. Like they've got his like look and whatnot. I think is fine. He just looks too young. You know, he should be about 3 or 4 years old.
I think just with the shaved head and the top knot instead of the
his delivery too is really hard to.
It makes
to
sense.
get past.
He has the shaved hair and the top knot to begin with. He doesn't get the shaggy look till later.
Thank you. I still hope it's good, but man, there's been some red flags this week.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope it's good. Yeah, but he's delivered some lines in the trailer that I just he's not menacing. He's supposed to be kind of scary, you know?
Right.
So I don't really care if some people have complained that Azula's going to be in season 1 more, but it makes sense if you're condensing season 1 to have Azula in it. I don't really care about that.
Yeah. As long as she doesn't have a huge prominent role, if they're just like setting up some of the backstory, that's fine.
But yeah, they've already talked about they're going to be skipping plot points. That's totally fine. That makes sense. Whatever. No Sozin's Comet in the first season, which is kind of the reason why. I don't know if I agree with that one.
Yeah.
That's kind of the driving factor for the show.
Yeah.
Is visiting. I don't know how you could do it without visiting the library.
Yeah, that's interesting because that was kind of.
That's the reason that they go to the polls. You know, like there's. So.
Huh.
I'm very. I'm scared. The trailer didn't look horrible, but man, yeah, there's just been a lot of mixed bag. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll definitely cover it.
Yep.
But did you know?
This one, I don't know anything about Wheel of Time. I'll let you guys take the reins.
Wheel of Time's my baby. Okay.
A girl on the left looks like a really white Ocasio-Cortez. Am I wrong?
That's good.
You are correct.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna unsee it.
Oh man.
Okay. Got it. Anyway, so the Wheel of Time setup for Rand in season 3 is going to avoid a major complaint from the books, David. Do you know what the complaint is?
That Rand is not in the story?
The complaint is the complaint about the books, which no one has ever complained about, is that he's not in book 3.
Right. And
the solution is they're not adapting book 3.
Right.
They're skipping to book 4. So this fixes the complaint. Trust us, Rand is, this time for reals, Rand is going to be in season 3. This is so brain dead. That's my favorite part about book 3. Because books 1 and 2 are Rand, and then in book 3 he's gone. And you're like, what's going on? Which is the entire point of book 3 is to finally give the side characters a little bit more limelight, develop them more, and have them try and figure out what the heck Rand is doing. It's a wonderful book.
Yeah.
But that only works if you've spent 2 seasons or 2 books getting to know Rand.
Yep.
But it's so funny that the show is fixing a complaint from the book by giving Rand screen time, which it hasn't done in seasons 1 or 2.
Yep. Well, time will tell if that's an accurate statement or not. Jury's still out on that one.
Anyway.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to do any better.
Did you see... I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see the Law and Order episode from this week?
I saw the clips. I hate the Law and Order.
I did. I'm talking about the clips. I don't know if I could play them.
Oh, you can play them. Yeah, no, you can play them.
All right, we're gonna do. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
We got to talk about this, and that's the last bit of news. And we'll call it because I'm okay. Oh, no. David, you don't know what we're talking about, right?
No clue.
Because you don't. You've never been on Twitter a day in your life.
Nope.
I understand. proceed. Why is this Chrome tab? Okay.
And I don't watch Law and Order. My wife likes what's the other one? Criminal Minds.
No, they're all the freaking same.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So on the newest episode of Law and Order, David, there is a character who was assaulted by a teenager of color.
Yeah.
And the resolution of the episode is her deciding not to press charges.
Oh my gosh.
Because she doesn't want to reinforce stereotypes.
Wow.
Did you see the follow-up clip real quick before we hit play?
I got both of them. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Can you guys hear?
Yep.
Okay.
But Natalie, Jay Watson raped you. You think I forgot?
Yeah, we kind of do. We kind of think you forgot. We'll pause it a couple times so we don't get stricken.
Yep.
Wow.
I just wanted to hear your reaction to this, David, because we both seen this.
I love the fact they're telling this to somebody who looks like Anderson Cooper.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You got some good quips tonight.
How could I? This entire trial has been an exercise in reminding me.
And this is your chance to do something.
I know what trials do.
I'm going to. Believe me. Because I can. I can afford therapy.
This is your chance to do something about it. I'm going to, because I'm privileged and I can afford therapy.
Wow.
Especially with today's video sponsor. For those of you that don't know, this stream is sponsored by BetterHelp.
I was just gonna say that. That's brilliant.
It's okay to not be okay. Sponsor me, please. Sure.
I have that luxury, and maybe one day I'll be okay.
I have the luxury, and maybe one day I'll be okay.
Oh man!
But if that teenager goes to prison, he may not be. Ever.
Oh, so
okay. But if he doesn't go to prison, is he going to learn?
Exactly.
Or is he going to keep assaulting people?
Is he going to keep doing to you what the Japanese did to Nanking?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that. Wow. That's interesting line of reasoning there. She's got.
Well, actually, I really like this scene because I can truly believe this is how people in New York actually think.
I know.
Oh man.
Otherwise, I mean, yeah, there have to be people that think this way because they wrote it and they keep voting the same way, right? But man, it's crazy to see. The guy's face is how I feel about this lady. Yes. Oh yes, her white privilege of being assaulted. Okay.
I don't want that. Natalie, wait.
The poor guy.
Wow.
Oh, it gets better though. It gets better. Just you wait, David.
All right, what's
you wait till you get to see the scene with him in it.
This teenager.
The poor teenager who, if he goes to jail, he won't be okay.
Oh gosh.
David, did you know?
Anything, if he goes to jail, he will get exactly what he did to her, to him. Like,
right.
You know, an eye for an eye and all that, or a butthole for a butthole.
Some might call it poetic.
Oh gosh.
David, did you know he's actually the victim?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
I'm listening, Mr. Carter.
Go ahead, Jay.
That girl, Natalie, I did what she said. She ain't lying.
All right. Okay. It starts off fine. That's a good start. Crap like that pisses me off because Yeah, therapy isn't going to make it go away. It might help you deal with it, but, man.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be okay. I have the money. It's okay. It's okay that I was assaulted.
Was this an episode of the Special Victim Unit?
Okay. Here you go.
Okay.
I took something. Something I can't get back.
Yeah, so we're good. Yep. We're good. Yep. I took something.
It was just supposed to be a robbery. But when I saw her, my whole life, nobody paid attention to anything I did. Not at home, not at school. Always felt kind of invisible, you know?
So yeah, he was bullied. He wasn't appreciated. So,
David, is he trying to say here, my whole life I've been invisible, no one noticed anything I did, so I realized that if I did this, people would see me? Or is he saying, if I did this, no one would know? What is he saying here?
That's a good point.
I took when I to give an actual answer. I took it as when he, because he's always been invisible, no one would know if he did this as well. So
yeah,
man,
that's how I took it. But I don't know if
that's how I understood it as well. Like, hey, no one's ever noticed anything, and when I saw her, I realized that I was the victim.
Yeah, that's some pretty bad logic.
So why would this be any different?
Why would this be any different? See, yeah. So it is like, no one's gonna know.
Wow.
What I did to Natalie, I did changed her life forever. So I guess I finally learned my lesson.
What lesson? I finally learned my lesson. If I want to be seen, I just need to assault people.
Yeah, wow.
So the lesson that you've learned is, if you want to be seen, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Right? What other lesson has he learned? He said he just learned his lesson.
He's also learned that even if he's seen, he can get away with it because, he hasn't been privileged, and you got to make up for that somehow.
What lesson has he learned?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Just too late.
I learned my lesson too late.
Never too late, Mr. Watson.
It is, though.
You'll do time. Not your whole life.
Well, actually, he won't do time because she's not going to press charges. That's basically it.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean when I say Argylle's not woke. It's just bad. It's not like this. It's not shoving a message down your throat. I'm truly sorry for anyone who's a fan of Law and Order. I mean,
I'm not. You get what you deserve for watching this crap.
Yeah, I assume it's been bad for a while.
Years.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to cover. Other than, how are you liking Delicious in Dungeon? Because I'm the only one on this show that watches that too.
I'm loving Delicious in Dungeon. It is it's nothing particularly special, but it is exactly what I wanted. I wanted Rachel Ray meets Dungeons and Dragons.
It's
and I'm
so
getting
fun.
Rachel Ray meets Dungeons and Dragons. Like it's been great.
I'm legit like
this week's most recent episode because I went
out of town for a conference. It's really good. Last week's was like okay. The orc stuff was like, it's fine.
That was actually my favorite episode so far. Was the episode 4 with the orc stuff and whatnot. But it's because the first 3 episodes were like one-off things, and I was enjoying them. They're like, oh, hey, a new dish every week. And then this episode 4 was like, oh, we're actually getting some plot, we're getting some development, and we're world building, and I'm liking it. I really am.
Shoot. I think my mic just died. Hold on. No, there we go. We're back.
Yeah, there's some weird echo going on.
I pulled on the cord. I need a new mic.
Sorry about
I could still hear you the whole time.
But yeah, no, I'm loving Delicious in Dungeon. I'm watching about 6 or so seasonal anime this season, so and that's one of them. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's fun. Like I'm watching it with my 8-year-old son. He loves it. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever. He wakes up on Thursday morning early before school so we can watch it together. It is so funny. Yeah, it's nothing to like write home about. It's not a masterpiece. It's just good, funny. It's just a good time. It's a D&D cooking show, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's on my list. I'll watch it, but my wife and I are watching through Arrested Development together because I never finished that, and she's finally interested in it. So I'm watching that, and then I'll probably hit up that next.
It's just funny. It's a funny show. This week's episode was really good. They make.
I also would highly recommend Sasuke and Peeps if you haven't watched that yet.
I haven't heard of that.
It's airing. It's about this. So I don't know if you know how much you know about Japan, but in Japan, having pets is really uncommon. You know, pets there's not, and so
because they eat them.
Right. This regular Japanese businessman doesn't make a whole lot of money. He has a really average life. He wants a pet, but he can't afford a dog or a cat because dogs and cats are absurdly expensive because pets aren't common in Japan. But he finds a bird at the pet shop, so he buys a bird. And as a bird owner, I love my bird, and I'm biased. But,
birds are dope.
The bird is actually a magical bird from another dimension. And so it starts teaching him to use magic, and he starts going to this other dimension with stuff from our world to sell it to these like medieval people. So he's giving them like thermal binoculars and instant ramen. But then you find out our world also has magic users that are completely unrelated to the magic users from the other dimension. So he gets like recruited by the Japanese government to fight these magical people that have no relation to the magical people from the universe he's selling modern conveniences to while trying to take care of this pet bird. It is wild.
That does sound fun.
So much
Sounds like
fun.
a trip.
So fun.
I'll check it out.
Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Yeah, Sasaki.
Sasuke and Peeps. That sounds really funny. I'm watching more and more anime. I'm
a huge anime nerd, and I fell off of it for like a couple years because I did this watch 100 different anime in a year challenge, and it was awesome. I did it, but it like burned me out hardcore. I was like, all right, that was a lot of anime. I'm gonna take some time off. So this is the first time in a couple years where I'm getting back into actually watching it, the anime seasonally. And I'm really enjoying it. It's been a good season. So
David, I'm curious to hear when you finish Arrested Development. Because I think I have a kind of unique opinion on the show that most people disagree with. But yeah, seasons 1 through 3 are fantastic. I actually loved season 4.
Is that when Netflix took it over?
That was when Netflix came over. I also understand.
I started watching season 4 initially before I got married, and I never finished it. And I've never seen the re-edited one, so we're on season 4 right now.
Don't watch the re-edited version. It ruins season 4.
Really?
Yes. You have to. So once you start season 4, you have to go into like the bonus and watch the original cut of season 4.
Huh. I heard that the re-edit was much better than the original.
No, it ruins like 80% of the jokes. I understand the initial pushback to season 4 because the problem was they had to film everyone separate, right? And the appeal of the show was the ensemble cast and their interactions together. I get it. I understand it wasn't as good, okay? But season 4 is a masterpiece. It starts off the first couple episodes, it's just focused on one character. And you get a different character each episode. And as the series goes, it becomes more and more intertwined. There are jokes from the first episode that you don't realize are funny until the 8th episode.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious.
I love it when shows are clever enough to do stuff
It is
like that.
so intricate. And everyone, I just didn't get the pushback to season 4 because it was, the jokes were smarter and more intricate than 1 through 3, which was the appeal of the show. It was the first time a television show that was airing that wasn't a binge model, right? it was the first time where you had to like pay attention and remember what was what had happened, and because they would do callbacks from like episode, like the show was way ahead of its time, and it's the kind of show that works better on like a streaming service where you can go and watch them all, you know, because you miss half the jokes. But I really, really like season 4. It's genuinely good, and then season 5 is garbage.
Well, great. Thanks for
yeah, I really did. I mean, there was like maybe 2 episodes I liked from season 5. I was like, okay, that's good, but it really struggled.
Yeah, first 3 episodes.
But don't believe the haters. Season 4 is fantastic.
All right,
Anyway.
well, I'll have to see if I can convince my wife to rewatch season 4 because we're midway through the re-edit, so we have
It
to
ruins
go back.
it literally ruins the jokes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's it. We're don't get me started on
right.
development.
Sounds
Leon,
good.
thank you so much for coming on the show. You can check out plug your stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel, Words of Paradise. I do different, content effectively every day. Every now and again, I take some time off. I took, Saturday off to, go to a concert and whatnot. But I do, nerdy news videos every day, usually with a political tinge to them. Sometimes more political than others. Other times, no politics at all. And then on Mondays, I do my live show, which is the Countercast. The first Monday of every month, I do it solo so that I can pay attention to you guys, the chat, and make it all about you. And then every subsequent Monday, I always have at least 2 to 3 guests, so it's a 3 to 5 person show. And it's great. We cover nerdy news as it's unfolding and just talk a lot of ridiculous crap. And for good and bad, I'm not like. People lump me in as an anti-woke YouTuber, and in general, I do follow a lot of that stuff, but in all reality, I don't like politics on either side. I want politics to stay out of nerd culture, and I cover everything from anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, just anything that I find to be, in my, realm of the nerd sphere. I occasionally do movie reviews, like tomorrow I've got my review of Argylle is dropping, so if you want to hear more collective and less sporadic, thought process, then
more organized chaos.
Yes, exactly. You can watch that tomorrow. Go back, check out my back catalog. This last week has been explosive. So all in all, just check out Words of Paradise.
I genuinely do like. I really like your approach of trying to focus more on the positive stuff, which is what I would love to be doing. I try to do that too. It's just that they came after my baby Wheel of Time, so I've been negative for a long time.
Oh no! And don't get me wrong. I do talk about the negative when I think it's like, most of my reviews I cover positively, but when it comes to just news in general, I cover the negative. Like there's some at this point I don't even cover Star Wars anymore. I'm dead. I'm done. Like there's no amount of hate bait clicks that will get me to cover Disney Star Wars nowadays. Like I'm absolutely done talking about Disney Star Wars. For the most part, I'm done talking about superhero stuff. But like if there's some video game news or anime or Sega's doing dumb stuff or people are throwing a fit about whatever it happens to be in nerd news, right, left, fan, anti-fan, if it's newsworthy, then I'm going to cover it and hopefully try and find a middle ground, because usually the truth is somewhere in the middle.
What are you most looking forward to from 2024 that's not Dune Part 2?
There's actually a lot. I'm looking forward to a lot this year. I think we've got a good year ahead of us. I think it's Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
I hope it's better than last year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Beetlejuice. I'm going to go on a limb and say
Beetlejuice.
I think Beetlejuice 2 is going to be the surprise hit of the year.
Okay, that is a bold take.
I think Beetlejuice 2 is going to be excellent.
Have you seen the trailer?
That said, hold on, let me.
Yeah, didn't we have some news on Beetlejuice 2 when it was?
I don't know.
Announced? I thought we covered something that was.
I'm a massive Beetlejuice fan. I got the musical on vinyl.
I haven't seen the musical.
The musical's even better than the movie. Straight up.
I never watched the movie until I was older, so I didn't have the nostalgia, and I kind of didn't love it.
Yeah.
Like visually, really good. I think the story's kind of dumb.
So I actually agree with that, which is why the musical is better. The musical
but the visuals are crazy. They're really good.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I thought it was an interesting concept, but just kind of, I don't know. I think it's overhyped.
Have you seen the trailer for the Indian John Wick yet?
Monkey Man.
Monkey Man.
It's so funny you bring that up. So the best part about Argylle today was the trailer.
For Monkey? I was surprised. There was like 3 movies. I was like, okay.
Warfare, like Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is great, or looks like it's going to be great.
Well, it's Guy Ritchie, so I mean, I'm sold already. You know,
it's very hit or miss. Guy Ritchie I love Guy Ritchie, but some of his stuff is a miss.
But it's got Henry Cavill not looking like a douchebag. He's just looking, dude. He looks like he's having so much fun in that movie. I've got to see. I
know. I agree. I think this is going to be a good year. There's going to be some. It's a good year for video games. It's been a good year for anime. I'm so far, and also it's an election year, so things are going to be crazy no matter what. I love that. I love the fact that we basically live in a cartoon. I think it makes life so interesting.
If we get to see Trump Biden debates, like, come on, like. Look, I don't care where you fall on the spectrum. That's gonna be fun to watch. Come on.
My whole thing, I tell people, like, I do not care who you vote for as long as you're not an ideologue, unless you're a legitimate Nikki Haley supporter. I've never met one, but even if they're out there, we're not friends. Like, I won't even entertain the idea of being friends with you. I don't care if you're like, yo, Leon, my favorite deck in Magic is Mill. I'll be like, I don't care. You're voting Nikki Haley.
Did you see her fake fan letters this week?
What? No.
She wrote fake fan letters to herself.
What?
And she's like, oh, I got these letters from people, and they're, oh, please don't drop out of the race. We need you to beat Donald Trump. And one of them, she's like, it's this handwritten note, and someone like found the font that it was written in, and the other note was written by her team, and they didn't press send on the email. It wasn't an email that she received. It was an email that they wrote, and they forgot to press send.
It was a screenshot of it?
Yeah. I can find it.
Oh, my goodness. That's amazing.
Let me see if I can pull it up. It is so funny.
Wow. How do you goof that badly? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I got to see. I had not heard about this. I took Friday through yesterday more or less off because I was Friday and Saturday more or less off because I went to go see Falling in Reverse in concert, and it was great. The Westboro Baptist Church was protesting outside. I took pictures with them. It's pretty great.
Nice.
Okay, here it is. Okay, share screen. I can't believe you haven't seen this. I laughed for so long.
I'm all up on politics. I love politics, so I cannot believe I haven't seen this.
She posted it. This is her Twitter account. This is a fan letter.
I want to encourage Nikki Haley to keep pressing on. We need a competent, committed leader to stay the course in the bid for presidency. I'm an independent, and I have voted for the best candidate every election cycle this year. Okay. It's Nikki.
This is This is literally better than freedom. Remember was that Kamala Harris?
Yeah, that was Kamala Harris.
My first word that I spoke to I was at a gay protest, and the first word I ever spoke was freedom.
And everyone stood up and clapped. Oh,
and everyone clapped.
Please do not give up your fight.
There's not even a subject either.
They didn't send it.
Oh wow, that's so good.
Michael B. Man, see, they should have at least done what they did with the first one and gave it a female name. Because
Mary A. Michael B.
No man is writing to Nikki Haley.
Matt Walsh. Dear Matt, you're the smartest and most greatest person who has ever lived. Thank you for being amazing. John Smith. Someone posted they found the font that was used to write it.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you didn't see that.
This made my night.
I hope it made your whole week.
Oh man. Well, it's Sunday. The week is young, but so far, yes, this has made my week. Today's the first day of the week, and that's the best thing I've seen all week so far. So yeah.
You did. You did see her complaining about being too brown, though, right?
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Okay. She was bullied because apparently she's a person of color. So.
We live in such great times.
Dude, it's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Monkey Man and Ministry of Ungentlemanly gentlemanly warfare. And I don't blame him for Aladdin. That's kind of like, you take one for the team and then you can go make your movies, you know?
Yeah, that's just like I don't blame Sam Raimi for Doctor Strange too.
Like, yeah, that's not his fault.
Yeah.
But
no.
All right. Well, I love your channel. Everyone check it out. He's a cool guy. And
I'll be back on. I'll be having you back on my show sometime soon if you've got the availability. I'm working through a slew of guests, and I'll always be reaching out. David, I don't know if you have a channel or whatnot, but if you use my first time interacting with you, send
David releases a video every 11 months.
Yeah, that's a joke, but I hadn't posted anything since February of last year, and then I posted our first video in 11 months.
David is darker than Nikki Haley. It's
hilarious because I'm so white, I'm translucent.
It's just it's called bad lighting, Mark Clark. But thank you so much for the $1.99.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I had to talk about. We're getting way too political for a nerdy podcast. Oh my goodness, I just unplugged my microphone again. No, we're back. Okay. Anyway, thanks for coming on. Man. Oh, that's why it switched to. It's the echo. Hold on.
Yep.
Is it gone? Goodness.
There we go. You're back.
I need a new cord. It's been jiggled too much. It's yeah. We're actually technically Mexican. That's the joke behind the channel. So
yep.
We have 3 generations of Mexican nationality making us one. Well, sorry, my dad keeps correcting me. I'm not 1/4 Mexican. I am. I'm 3/8 Mexican because we have another Mexican on the other side of the family that also wasn't Mexican.
Well, that's almost half Mexican. So
that's almost half.
Yeah.
So, just nationality, no blood. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. It's been a blast. You're welcome back on the show. Anytime you want to come on, just send me a message. I'll send you a list. I've got a programming of what's. If you ever want to jump on, just let me know.
Yeah, send me a list. I will happily be on. Like I said, I work Sundays, but I'll just do what I always do, which is just bouncing in and out. So, I think you guys, it was awesome. Catch you later, everyone.
See ya. Thanks for coming on.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Subscribe to the channel and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon.